Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we're gonna start it up today. And I know a lot of people are gonna be pissed off in the comment section, but let's get it going. Make sure you go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, yesterday I was watching a segment on ESPN First Take yesterday between Mad Dog Russo and Stephen A. Smith because he was there on Wednesday. Fine. And they were talking about the top 5 scorers in NBA history. And essentially during that segment, what was happening was, Chris Mad Dog Russo gave his own top 5 and then Stephen A. Smith had a rebuttal. And I think the whole conversation started because some people have been saying that basically some people don't consider LeBron James to be a scorer. Why don't some people consider this conversation really started there? Why? Because LeBron just, he just passed Karl Malone for the second most points of any NBA player in the history of the sport. So that's what really sparked this entire conversation. I didn't make it up. The media's been talking about it. What are you talking about LeBron? You know, I gotta ask this question. For people to ask me, why do I always talk about LeBron? Why don't you ask somebody always talk? Why are you always asking me? Why are you asking me? Everybody talks about it, but when I talk, you ask me. Why did you? Anyway, so that's really where all of this started, was that. During the segment, Chris Mad Dog Russo gave his top 5 that I'm going to share with you right now. His top 5 scores in this order are Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, and Pete Maravich. Pistol Pete. Those are his top 5. I liked his list. However, if I had to make if I had to change his list or edit it or whatever or modify it, I would remove Pete Maravich because I actually went and looked at his numbers and all of that, and I would replace him with Kevin Durant. That's just me. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. That's just me. But the part I really want us the part I want us to focus on was Stephen A. Smith's part, because he got into his old spiel, and as he was talking, he brought up LeBron and all of these different things. So what I want to do is, for those of you who missed Stephen A. Smith's top 5, because the segment doesn't lead off with him, I want you guys to take a listen to Stephen A. Smith's top 5, take a listen to some of his reasoning, and we're going to come back here and unpack this. So take a listen to that here.
You started off your list.
Yeah.
Horrible. Get Pete Maravich the hell off of there, okay? 1970 to 1980. I don't care. Just stop it. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. It's good. Listen. Here's my whole point. First of all, I have no problem with, of course, I agree with Michael Jordan being number 1. All right, Kareem and Wilt, you got to put them up there. Kareem's the all-time leading scorer. Wilt Chamberlain was unstoppable. So those 3 I'll give you. Kobe's actually debatable, but I'm not going to fight with him in the top 5 because I believe in the Black Mamba. I just want to say this to you, doggy. So Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God has ever created. He's a 90% career shooter from the free throw line, and he's a career 25-point-per-game scorer. And you talked about Pete Maravich being up there and what he would have been if there were a three-point shot.
But
we've seen what Steph Curry is with his three-point shot. Okay, with his three-point shot, okay? So that's number 1. We just going to leave LeBron, who's a career 27-point-per-game scorer, out of this. Just going to leave LeBron off there. Just going to leave him. That's what we're going to do, doggy. That's what we're going to do. And oh, by the way, last but not least.
You're making it sound like Anthony Mason's not on the list. Look at these people here.
Exactly. Listen. I'm looking at them. That's why I said the top 4. Listen. Number 1 is not debatable. 2, 3, and 4 are legitimate. I'm just simply asking a question. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant may be the second great, at the end of his career, he may be the second greatest scorer we have ever seen in the history of basketball. I'm talking about the eye test. I'm not talking about numbers. What he can do, he's a career 27-point-per-game scorer, like LeBron. He is a marksman extraordinaire. He is 6'11" with a 7'6" wingspan. He's got a mid-range game. He's got a three-point game. He's got an open court game. He's got a handle. He can hit free throws. What can't Kevin Durant do offensively? How do you sit up there and put a Pete Maravich above him? I would tell you as a scorer, I'd actually put him ahead of Kobe.
Here is how I'm going to break down this entire thing. And I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off with me, but as usual, I gotta give y'all the facts. For as many people that get pissed off, there's many people out there that enjoy it. So, you know, it is what it is. In my opinion, not even in my opinion, but based on the numbers as well, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are the best perimeter scorers who ever lived in the universe. Those two human beings are the best perimeter players to ever play in the National Basketball Association. Those two gentlemen right there. They are the most skilled perimeter players in the history of basketball. We're talking about players that played on the perimeter, not all this, you know, all the positions. They are the most skilled, and I don't think it's close. I don't think anyone comes closer to those two guys if we're talking about wing players. They are the best. They are the best, period, in the story. They're best for a few reasons. Number one, if you look at their moves, if you look at their footwork, and you also, if you look at their post game, and you also factor in their clutchness and all of these, they're the best. They're the best. You cannot talk about being a great offensive player and you don't have a post game. Sorry, I'm not going to qualify you. Every great post play, every great scorer had a post game, had reliable moves. What's Kobe Bryant's reliable move? Pull up jump shot. That is the basis of his basketball game. I watch video. What's Michael Jordan? The pull up jump shot. That is the most unstoppable shot in all of basketball apart from the sky hook. According to Kobe Bryant, they said the most unstoppable play in basketball is the pick and roll. So that's what they said. Now, back to LeBron. LeBron is not a top 5 scorer in the history of NBA whatsoever. He has accumulated that many points because of how long he's been playing and because of the style, because of his playing style. Not because he's one of the greatest scorers. No. And I'm going to break it down for you. Yes, LeBron is averaging 27 points per game for his career, but LeBron, anybody that watches basketball, and you know, I gotta say, I'm beginning to wonder, are some of you LeBron James fans, you guys, when I read some of your comments, I'm beginning to wonder, do you guys really understand basketball at a high level? Because a lot of the things that you guys say makes me really question this. I don't really think a lot of you guys understand basketball in a nuanced way. I don't think a lot of you guys can distinguish between skilled players, athletic players, players that have a little bit of, but I don't really think you guys can understand that. I've heard some LeBron James players, fans say that he's the most skilled basketball player. But I sit back and I'm like, these guys really understand what they're talking about? A lot of you guys really say some things that really has me scratching my head, and I really don't understand what you guys are talking about. If you watch basketball players and you understand very skilled basketball players and offensively skilled basketball players with moves, it really makes me question. I'm being serious, by the way. I read a lot of your comments and I'm like, do these guys a lot of it is embarrassing in my personal opinion. Listen, LeBron is not a top 5 scorer of all time if we're talking about players that can score the basketball. He has a high average, but he's very limited offensively. He has no footwork whatsoever. If you watch LeBron, a lot of his footwork, it's not there. He has decent footwork, but it's very clunky and it's unpolished. Anybody that watches basketball that understands this, any technician of the game can tell you this for free. People that are confused, well, they're always going to be confused. That's the first thing. Secondly, the second reason why it's laughable to say that LeBron should be in the top 5 of scorers is simply this, or a better scorer than Michael Jordan, LeBron James, simply this. Let's talk about the actual production of points. I'm going to totally annihilate you guys again. I'm just giving you a fair warning. There's some more annihilation coming on a little bit today. So a little bit in this video. So if you don't want that, I suggest you just click off the video, get ready to get toasted. Anyway, LeBron in his career has 69 40-point games in his career. 69, right? Kobe Bryant in his career has 100. Kobe Bryant has 143 40-point games. 139. 139 40-point games. No, I think it's 143. Kobe also had 4 50-point games in a row and had 9 40-point games in a row. Nobody's done that. That's number one. Number two, Michael Jordan has 173 40-point games. That's double the amount of 40-point games, 40-point outbursts that LeBron has had. Don't ever open your mouth and talking about LeBron is a better scorer than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. Sit down. Have a seat. But it doesn't stop there. Jordan has 31, let me repeat, 31 50-point games. 31. Kobe has 25 50-point games. LeBron has 14 15-point games. Kobe has 6 60-point games. Jordan has 5 60-point games, and I think 4 of them came in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, or a good amount of them, because I know he had 2 61-point games and a 63, I believe it was, in the playoffs, and I think his career high 69. And LeBron has 1 60-point game. Now, here's where we're going to get to the technical part of this discussion, and I know I'm going to lose a lot of you LeBron fans. You guys are just going to be, I'm sure by now, man, y'all are ripping off your shirts, smacking on your, pressing dislike on the phone or whatever, like really hating me. This is why I'm going to lose a lot of you. If you look at LeBron's games, and I've watched all of his, I followed his career from beginning to end, or beginning to now, present day. The majority of LeBron's shots come from the paint. LeBron primarily is at his best when he's attacking. That's where he is at his best. This is not my opinion. Go look at the field goal percentages and the shooting percentages from distance. The data supports it, but also if you watch him play basketball, it is clear where the majority of his offense comes from. It comes from the paint. And if you're shooting, and if you get a lot of your shots closer to the paint, is one of the reasons you're going to have a high field goal percentage. Shaq, Ben Simmons, all of these guys, people that shoot closer to the basket have high field goal. Dwight Howard, all of them. There's no magic to it. That's really what is happening there. But the moment you step into the mid-range and you get between 10 feet and 16 feet, you quickly realize who the better scorers are. Because from that distance, you need to have offensive skills. And you need to be able to shoot. You need to be lethal in a triple threat position. You need to have a consistent jump shot. And you need to have a lot of moves in your bag. Period, end of story. And that's where Kobe and Jordan excel. From 10 to 16 feet for a career, LeBron is shooting 36.8% from the 10 to 16 feet distance on the court. Kobe, on the other hand, the misters, Kobe's not that efficient. Ha, ha, ha. Kobe. Kobe Bryant shot 43% from 10 to 16 feet in his career. The majority of Kobe's shots came from the mid-range. You know why? Do you know why Kobe shot so many mid-range jump shots? It's because he knew he could shoot. That's why. Confident players take jump shots. Players that are not confident in their shooting abilities, Ben Simmons, don't shoot at all. That's the reason. Michael Jordan, from that distance, from the years that was recorded, he shot 44% from that distance. So when people are talking about, no, he's not. He just took a lot of shots closer to the basket. Now, some people say that's smart offense. To me, I think it's boring as hell to watch. Personally. And the way you score and how it looks also matters, because I got to enjoy looking at you. I don't want to be looking at no clunky, three motion jump shot, clanking look. Nobody want to see that when you're playing basketball. It's ugly to watch. So that's the first thing. That's worth mentioning. The only reason LeBron has a higher three-point shooting percentage than these guys is because they focus on threes more. But nobody in their right mind will tell me that if Kobe and Jordan decided to focus on three-point shooting, they wouldn't be great three-point shooters, and I'll tell you why. The way you understand of whether or not a person can shoot is at the free throw line. Poor shooting mechanics get exposed at the free throw line. That is the reason why Jordan, Kobe are 80+% free throw shooters. Look at Kevin Durant. Great shooters shoot well from the free throw line because of their mechanics. You're not moving. Nobody's pushing you around. You're standing still and you're shooting. That's all. It all comes down to your mechanics and your repetition, and of course your mental toughness. Because given different moments in the game, you may miss shots depending on what's happening in the game. So for all of these reasons, this is why LeBron should be included in the top 5. We're talking about scorers. He's number 2 in overall scoring. But you would look like you would embarrass yourself if you said that he's a better scorer than Kobe or Jordan. Like, cut that out. These are my opinions. Have a nice day in the comment section. Catch you guys on the next episode.